conversations.
Lots of crushes. And
Mara tried her best to stay out of everything's way.
Ice is trying to ship Luthien and Storm.
Ice's first ship.
and then yeah, from there
Yeah, we
sailed.
did still like I'm gonna say we in the royal sense, and I'm not gonna point fingers even though we all know who, but we did antagonize a high-level necromancer who has many business connections across the entire realm.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
With parting shots. Like literally parting shots. We left parting shots and Mara's just like pinching the bridge of her nose and trying to hoping that just hoping. I don't know how to just hoping.
Look, I want to clarify something. I don't think he's a necromancer. I legit think he's a lich.
I mean, like he could be. Like there's a lot of shady shit going down, but like we're not level 20. That guy knows people who are level 20 that probably owe him favors.
Now Mara knows how Stella has felt every time the group has done something ever. But Stella's like, la-di-da, Mara's worrying about that shit now. I am way too stressed.
Storm, this sounds like a challenge.
I mean, if he wants to send people after us, freaking bring it.
Dude, like, what are we gonna do when we have to like go back? Like, are we just like never gonna go back to that town? Are we gonna forever just like walk away from our consequences and just keep walking west?
You can try to kill him.
Yeah, we could try to kill him. He has a really nice mansion we could keep.
I will hack and slash my way through to that mansion.
Jesus
Let's go.
Christ,
Let's turn this boat around right now and go after him.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not sure where the moral relativity lies in this party, to be honest.
Well, where's Roos? He's not sure either.
I feel like okay, so like that happened and we antagonized that, and now we're heading north. We did spend the night in we already docked the boats. We paid for the boats. Boats were all taken care of, and we're gonna travel on land. Did we get through watches when we were staying the night at the docks?
We kind of ended at the start of watches because people started trailing off, and then I also honestly didn't have the next steps quite ready yet. Someone was looking at maps, I believe.
That probably would have been me.
Okay. Yeah, so you met the boatman who ran the docks, and you paid to stay in it's essentially kind of like a hostel. It's like a lodge that just has beds laid out in it, for potentially up to like 12 people. So you can go back and examine the maps more. You can take your watches and do that in the morning. However you guys would like to go about this evening in the world.
Oh, actually, it looks like I did already accomplish the map thing. I do have a note in my inventory of map, like a rough map of the upcoming northern terrain, basically with like called out landmarks in their rough area. So
Yeah,
I think we did talk about that.
yeah, you copied it, but I didn't have the information ready to flesh it out. So if we want to say Mara spends the evening kind of
Yeah,
going
I'd be
over the
looking over
notes.
those. If there's anything specific you want to call out, I would be looking for any kind of like landmarks and local trails if known. I would even ask the guy like, "Hey, do you know of like a specific trail that's not on this map that you want to like draw out for me real quick, like rough style, like if you know." Like sort of thing, I would try to entice the local to like give up an extra bit of information besides the rough tourist map.
Yeah. So as far as the passes over the mountains go, You have three main ways to go. I mean, other than just kind of trying to climb over and finding your own way, which could be treacherous. There are three known passes, or three common ones. Um, the main one, the safest one, but it's also the longest because you have to go all the way back up towards the capital, is the Roxwell Pass, and that's managed by the government and stuff like that. But it's a known safe route that you guys could take, but it would take you probably a week out of your way to go back up northeast towards the capital city. The capital
Um,
city you guys would know is named Roxwell, and that would ring a bell to some of you that you've fought against people who are declared as being from the Roxwell Brawlers before.
Have we
okay.
fought them in a pit fight?
Yes, in arenas.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Ooh.
I would like to make note of them because, like, I would love to meet them again and take them out for drinks. Like,
Yeah.
just saying.
uh, DM, what path did Stella take
Over the
to?
mountains.
Hmm.
I thought she went around, is what we said.
That
What
might be
towards the
correct.
southwest.
I didn't
Um,
write down notes. It just
yeah.
says mountains here. So,
If she took a path over the mountains rather than around, it would probably be just being navigating on her own, but she's
mhm.
light and nimble and this is her favored terrain, so it would be like something that's very easy, or not easy, but it's something that would be a very manageable task for her, but might be tougher for a whole party of the 8 of you to navigate.
Yeah.
But again, you guys could certainly try to go over the mountains just
Yeah.
by navigating a safe path.
If we said that she diverted the mountains, I'm sure like when she left, they gave her a map or something, and maybe she was like, I shouldn't cross the mountains by myself the first time I'm
Yeah,
leaving my village and I'm gonna avoid them. So just wanted to double
She
check
had time to go
that
the
she's
long
not.
way when she was leaving.
yeah.
Yes.
That was my understanding of what had occurred, was that she went
Got it.
down
Got
around
it.
them.
I will write it down properly this time.
So you
Um,
said, and then the third path, I'm guessing, is straight through like snowy mountains.
well, so over the mountains is kind of the first option, but it's not necessarily a pass. It's kind of find your own way. There's the Roxwell Pass, which is up towards the capital, which is the safe way that's managed by the political entity. There is the underpass, which, as it sounds, goes underneath the mountains. There's various tales and rumors that come out of there that the boatman will regale with you about. Um, People say that Edorin got his power from down under those mountains. That he went in as a mere traveler and came out super powerful. People go down there and they go missing and never come back. They don't know if they go out the other side or if they get lost down there. It's an ancient road that's been known for generations and generations and generations. But there's very mixed tales and rumors about what happens to the people who go down there.
That's so tempting.
And then the other pass is called the Slaver's Slip, which is where the orcs tell stories of uh, elves who come to kidnap people and bring them back to their homeland as slaves. And there's a route that goes up through the mountains, and when they get there to look down, all they see is a 2,000-foot drop into the forest below, um, rocky, craggy base, and no one down below there. There doesn't seem to be a way to navigate down safely other than this straight cliff.
Thank you for that information. And then Mara will gather her maps with her various notes all over them. And I will take all this information back to the party after. How much is like this costing us to like have bunked here overnight?
I think I declared it last time. It was like 2 silver a bed or something.
Oh, well, he gets a couple gold. Apparently, I can just fling gold at people these days.
Because you're black.
What do you-
Fucking
Well,
rich.
no, but also I don't buy things, except for projecting a. Anyways, so that's good to know. I'm gonna take all this information back to the party, especially Stella, because Stella would also know this area, and I will bring her back all of my various notes on the various passages. And I would actually point at the story about like the cliff that like just goes off into nowhere. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
ask her if her village has similar like is this like part of your folklore? Is this how you get people to stay away?
Um, let me think about it. DM?
You could roll a history check.
Okay, excellent. I'm not very good at
And
that.
also for an isolationist village, they don't
Oh.
have much control about how people perceive them either. So like Mara would like bring all of this to Stella first and just be like, hey, I think I might have found something out about your village that like you might want to know in case you didn't know, unless it's a thing.
All right, I rolled a 16.
You've heard about a village of elves to the north that are regarded as kind of being half demons. There's rumors of that about them being cannibals and things like that.
Oh. Not great,
Very
not
very
great.
nasty tales.
Okay. Well, I mean this isn't my village, but there is a village that uh well, they're not there's rumors about them being like cannibals and just very not great folk. I mean, who knows
Cannibals?
how true that is? Could be something that's been, you know, people say one thing and then grapevine effect, you know.
Okay, I'm
Um,
just glad it's not about you because he said something about slaves and stuff, and I'm like, that is bad PR.
oh, yeah,
Um,
no, I definitely no. Our village is definitely not like that.
okay, cool.
I
I
mean,
just
they
wanted to make
keep
sure this
people
wasn't
there
like a bad
forever, but
rumor, but it is a bad rumor.
I mean,
Um,
yeah.
how close do these three paths get us specifically to where we need to take you?
Can I take a look at the map and see what is the most direct path?
The most direct would be the underpass. It's kind of a straight shot to where you guys are going, but it also there's a vertical dimension to that as well. So, but
Yes.
also you avoid having to go up. So a little, a little of this, a little of that. The
Okay.
Roxwell Pass is way out of your guys' way. It'll take you at least a week out of your way, in each
Okay.
direction. So probably 2 weeks out of your way. The Slaver's Slip is a little bit to the north. It'll take you a couple days out of your way, but you don't necessarily know how you'll navigate it down,
Mhm.
unless people in your party have ways to take care of that.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure at least two of us have feather fall. We can figure this out.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll explain the options, and kind of leave it up to the group in terms of do you want to go the safe route, the most direct, or one that's kind of in between, but we might have to climb and or shimmy our way down.
How much time do you have?
I'm all right for time. Uh, right now. I mean,
Do
if we
you
go,
have 2 weeks of time to add? Like if we just put in 2 weeks and just like do the same thing, is it accomplishable in your timeline?
I believe so. That's what we agreed, right, Dan? It was like I had a month
Yeah.
ish,
I think you had about 2 months, which is a
2 months.
few days less now, but yeah, you've got some time.
Yeah, we can
Quest-
go the safe route. That's fine.
Okay, so the safe route is an option.
Yes.
Good,
Question
because
for
I'm not feeling super great about the underpass, given everyone's situations lately. I feel like that would just be a disaster in the waiting.
so
Um,
question for the DM.
Yeah.
How long can a living person survive in the portable hole?
I think it specifically says on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
can. There's air for 10 minutes and then you start suffocating.
can we potentially get down in 10 minutes?
Oh, no, it's not a problem. There's at least we can cover with featherfall. It's not a problem. Jumping off a cliff isn't a problem.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also, if Stella is open to it, I would now like to open this up to the rest of the party, having met up for like lunch or something before we go
Yeah.
and hit the road.
Definitely.
So we have super sketchy going under the mountains,
Mhm.
super cold going over the mountains,
Mhm.
mildly treacherous quick path, or we can go drink with the brawling brothers on the safe path. So Mara would present all the options and lay out all the maps with the party over brunch of nuts and cheese, probably.
Well, all of them sound viable to me. I would say whichever one you feel you're most suitable to take on.
Which
So
one would we be less likely to stray from? I feel like if we go to the mountains, I feel like if we go like into the mountains or the caves, wherever that was Edrin came from, we might encounter things that might delay us.
Yeah, there's always a danger in the mountains. There's different types of creatures that live up here. But for the most part, I would say as long as we're not getting close to, nests, things like that, you know, not chit-chatting as we're going, being careful, should probably be fine.
I have a question for the DM. The Slaver's Path and the safe path.
Yeah.
How at their widest point away from each other, how wide are they away from each other? Is it
Well,
like one follows the coast and one goes inland?
I don't understand that question, but the Slaver's Slip is probably a day or two north of you. The Rockswell Pass is about a week north of you, so it would be like another 5 days.
I mean, like if you were to like put it on like a circular, or not really a circular, but like how if we were to follow the safe path into the city and we were in the city, but we heard something about the Slaver's Path or whatever, what kind of shortcut would that give us across Ukraine? Like what's the distance? I don't have a map to really look at. Like I'm trying to read a map without reading a map.
So if you go all the way north there, if you go the week north, it would be 5 days to come back south again to then go over it. So at that point, it would no longer be a shortcut because you would have already gone the extra 5 days north.
Well, but all of these roads are eventually leading us to the general direction of Stella's home. So I'm wondering along these paths, how like congruent are they?
So if let's say let's pretend we're talking about just a river,
Mhm.
and you've got one bridge in front of you. You have one bridge 2 days to your right, and you have another bridge 7 days to your right. You can cross the bridge in front of you. You can go 2 days to the right to cross that bridge, or you can go
Oh,
7 days
okay,
to the right
okay.
to
I
cross
see,
that
I see, I
bridge.
see. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it depends on how's everybody else feeling today?
I say we just go the quickest, most direct route. No sense wasting time.
I would agree. We should probably go the fastest route.
I concur.
Through the underworld, through the mountains,
And
hack and slash our way through like adventurers.
you said that's where Edrin got his power?
There's rumors of that.
We should totally go that route then.
it's been quite a while since I've been underground. It could be nice to experience caves again.
Appreciate Ice's get self-awareness in admitting that we might get sidetracked. But if that's the case, then that's what happens. It's what happens. We'll deal with it.
I mean, I suppose if the quickest route is the one that we most get sidetracked, at least we'd have time for it, or at least time enough to pull ourselves back together.
Yeah, we'd have time to deal with a distraction if we go that way.
It is possible. There is a good amount of moving water here. I could. How many do we have in the group here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, unfortunately, one too many. I could bring most of us back if we did get caught into a situation. As long as I knew that this might be a place we wanted to return to. I
You
would
don't
just
have to put me on that list. I have my own ways out.
excellent. Well, then we have a little bit of assurance and insurance, as it were, to consider this a place to return to if things get too dicey underground. At a moment's notice, I can get us here, presuming that I'm conscious and alive, which I tend to for 350 years now. So, it's been a while.
What do you need to reset the focal point for that?
Oh, I
Or I
just
would
need,
actually ask it like that too.
I just need to have a couple moments to myself along the water and cast a spell. That's it. We are.
Does it have to be still water, or can you cast it in any water?
Um, uh, it needs to be flowing water.
So you can, if we find a creek near anything we're about to encounter, we can always set a point before we approach. Is this a ritual you can do? Do you have to spend power for it, or can you just meditate for a while?
I have to spend power for it, so that I would need to. Hold on a second, I'm pulling up the spell real quick. I
So a
would need
night before.
to. Yeah, I would need a day. Unfortunately, I am not talented quite enough yet to be able to reset my location for the word of recall and also cast it in the same day. So I would need a day, but as long as it's about a 1 day process for me, and I only need just a moment.
That's very good to know. Okay, so
Wait, I have a question about that. Would we need to also be within a certain range of you for that to apply to us when you cast it?
You would need to be within 5 feet of me. So that's a great question. You would need to be close enough that I can put my arms out and bring you in to cast a spell.
I
So
mean, it's a
you
better backup than we've had before.
And
I'll,
suffice to say that if it's not a very intense combat and I have a good amount of my powers remaining, I have ways of bringing us all together. That even if you are in a dire situation, I might be able to move you about. Um, there's some assurance. It's nothing's guaranteed in this world, but there's some assurance that I could get us to safety, at least most of us to safety, pretty quickly if we needed to.
so I'll also note, it says you and 5 other players. I don't think you're counting Sasha, who is currently traveling with you in your
Yeah.
calculations.
So there's 7. Yes. Okay.
Well, Mara's counted herself out, so we'll see how the rest of the dice shake out.
There's
Well,
still 6 more.
Does Chut count also?
No, he's tied to Naya.
Gotcha.
there's a chance, Mara, you and I should probably discuss in detail potential exit strategies, since you might be able to also.
I actually, yeah, I do have ways to transport people as well. It's just not as it's more limited than yours is, but I can cover someone else's back if someone else does want to also take point with me.
Interesting. Well, it seems like we have some risk mitigation plan, but as they say, anything could go wrong. But a plan is better than none at all. Sorry, I'm laughing because that's like the last thing Black would ever say.
I love Ruth so much.
The plan is better than none at all. Black's like, what plan?
Luthien, you also want to go underground? You want to do the underpass?
Sorry, I keep muting myself. Yeah, if that's the quickest way, I think that's where we should go.
So I would like to point out that while we're trying to go the most direct route, it is quite high risk. And I would like to say that this other path, this other village that Stella spoke about, that's doing bad things, we can also follow that.
Again,
Still have
that's
time to
a
get
rumor.
sidetracked, and it might. Well, and we can find out about. We can find out if it's even true or not. And
We
like
can
maybe
do that after we've dealt with the more pressing things, though.
Well, what I'm saying is it's on the way anyway. It's part of the local geography. We could probably even learn things about this forest from these people if they are willing to hear us out, that we just kind of want to understand what's going on.
And if they're
And
not willing,
I'm just saying there is time to get sidetracked while also being close to allies. Whereas in the mountains, we will be nowhere near allies. Like Stella's family is from this place.
who
We're
are our
much
allies?
closer to her people than we are, or than we'd be in the mountains.
Let's assuming that they would be around to help us and
Well,
not
she's a
try to take.
princess, so wouldn't they come and help her?
All right, Black.
No,
Um,
no. Again,
Is this true? Are you a
no,
princess?
Oh God!
no,
Oh no!
no. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not a
no.
princess. That was
Ah,
a misconception.
I see.
Um,
That's a very interesting misconception. Well, you have to tell me about how that happened some other time.
yeah. It's just my father is the head druid of
But still,
our clan, but no.
Oh, so no actual royalty. I understand completely. It makes sense.
Yes.
I can see where the confusion would come in.
well, either way, I do still have contact with the nomad tribe. And if they happen to come up this way, or they have any like allies up in this direction, we could also like there's also a chance we can call up on them if we're going through this path instead of underneath the freaking mountains. I'm kind of nervous about being underneath the mountains, I'm not gonna lie.
You don't want to go under the mountains, then. That's
Well,
fine.
I'm actually concerned about what we might find and what I might get distracted with under the mountains most of all.
You don't think you'll get distracted with other things on top, like if we stay topside? I mean, there's going to be distractions and things
I know,
happening
but
and
these are
danger
like the
anyway.
kinds of things where we're like meeting new people and experiencing their culture and deciding whether we like it or not instead of fighting for our lives.
Well, assuming that the rumors about them aren't true. Yeah,
I mean, like, either way, we'll find out, right? Like, nobody knows. So it's like a fun
but
way to
if
find out without tempting, like, fate and god powers underneath a mountain.
okay,
You
so
might-
what I'm going with, what I'm getting is, R doesn't want to go into the mountain. So, anyone
I think
has
that-
any objections? Let's stay topside and just go the other way then.
I think that's a wise decision, as I personally don't see well underground, and we would be probably using a lot of our powers just to maintain vision, I'd imagine. So,
No, it's pretty easy, but
No, the
Oh,
light,
okay, cool.
actually, light's not really a problem.
that's pretty simple.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
he's right about that.
But it is a
Then,
valid point, though. I can't see very well in the dark either. So,
We also do risk collapses and a lot of potential issues underground that we don't deal with topside, of course.
all right. So, cannibal demon people, it is. Let's do it. It sounds fun.
So I mean, it could be a misunderstanding, and like maybe we just like skirt around them, and like kind of do like a whole in between route to get there, and
Right.
like forge our own path. Who knows?
Oh, that's fine. Stella, what do you think?
That's the important answer.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just, I don't know the circumstances in terms of these people. These could just be very wild rumors for a clan or a tribe that keeps to themselves. So, I guess all I want to say is that if we do this, we approach the situation with caution and, you know, yeah, let's not run in with,
And
pitchforks.
Caution and kindness.
Well,
Is
are they
how
Not
we're
that
gonna,
gonna
far.
approach this.
are they gonna recognize you? And if so, is that gonna be a problem?
Uh, I don't think I've ever interacted with them. DM,
Okay.
can I make a history check?
This wouldn't be a history
Yeah, I
about
don't
if
really
you were.
know.
It would probably be just kind of a straight D100, not
Okay.
necessarily luck, but percentage chance.
Okay.
68. No, you haven't seen them.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's
Well-
good enough for me then.
Yeah,
So-
so cautious.
Is there a particular reason why we have to go through this village if we're going topside?
Well, it's to go back to Stella's family.
It's the shortest path, I believe, is what we've discussed. Top side, that is.
I
Yeah,
thought
We're
but
not
there's
going
no-
to the village. It's just along the path that their village is rumored to be.
We could try to avoid their territory. That wouldn't necessarily be a problem as long as we're careful. If you guys want to investigate it, though, I mean, not necessarily going to stop you if the
mean, they're-
party wants to.
They've gone to seemingly great lengths to not interact with others, so I think
I
maybe it
mean,
would be
you
best
can
to
say
stay away.
this. I mean,
And
you can
it-
say the same for my own village.
It is fast. It is a faster route. So if we just keep to ourselves and keep our heads down and just take the slightly faster route, maybe we might not have any problems at all.
Okay, let's do
It-
that.
So, just for clarification, it's faster than Roxwell. It's not faster than the underpass.
Right, but it's still the medium fastest without going under mountains.
Okay.
Medium fastest.
Medium
fastest.
fast.
Hey Dan, can I has my character he's not been this far west, so he's not ever come in contact with us, but does he have any experience with potentially cannibalistic villages in the past?
Oh, roll a
Mhm.
D100.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, good. Cool. I'm just as nervous as all of you.
Excellent.
'Cause I have a lot of meat. I have a lot of meat.
Sorry, I didn't really hear. I know Ice and Storm talked early in the conversation. I didn't hear them later. Are you guys good or anything more to share?
Yeah, share your opinion, Stormblaze and Ice Rose.
I just don't like Edrin, so I think we should go to the underpass. Find out what makes him tick, if he really did find his power down there.
See, we were just talking about trying not to get distracted in the underpass.
I know.
Oh boy. I do want to say, Stormblaze, if you feel like this is where your path may lead you, I would wholly support you in this endeavor. But that makes me scared.
Ice will nudge Storm. We could double back after we're done with Stella's village.
You think we'll come back the same way?
I am concerned enough about Edrin to come back. Want to come back.
Can I roll an Arcana to know who Edrin is? Because me as a player did not look it up. Oh, I didn't mean to roll it an advantage. but yeah.
You know they're talking about the guy at the state, right? Is that the question?
Guy. That guy.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about something else. Never mind.
No, he's the guy at the state who you guys
Oh,
just
okay. That's all coming together now. The mimosas are finally catching up.
Question for the DM.
Yep.
Would I know anything about man-eating demons or undead?
You've done it.
What?
Have you eaten demon meats?
No. Man-eating demons.
Oh, demons that eat men?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Or-
not an uncommon thing. That's like people who eat beef.
Okay. So it could be just any demon.
Not any, like there's vegetarians and vegans and stuff like that. And there's some people who are just like pescatarian or don't eat beef. But, you know.
Gotcha. Well, I will go with the party. I do have to drop out real quick. Hopefully I'll finish this call before anything gets too exciting. I'll be back.
Okay.
Sounds like we have a nice consensus to take the above ground but quickest route, despite the possible thrilling and maybe dangerous encounter with a few cannibals.
And we're still close to the other region, so maybe we can find out some more stories about other things that may have happened in those mountains before we do decide to tackle it.
I will allow me to step aside and just cast my spell real quick, so that if perhaps we get along the way and find out that in fact the underpass is the better option, we can come back quickly.
I'm fine with setting it here for tonight since it's a good resting point,
Yeah.
just in case.
So we did kind of skip over last night, but it sounds like Roos needs to spend a day anyway to do his casting. Is that correct? Matt?
Sorry, we're dealing with a Beyond 20 issue. What was the
Oh,
question?
sorry.
No, you're good.
You need to spend a day to cast that anyway. Is that correct? So you're going to be spending another night.
I can cast it pretty much. It just costs one action,
Okay.
but I only have one spell slot at that level, so it takes me a day to get it back.
Wait, is this
Okay.
the spell that you linked?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
word does the because it says you have to I'm not trying to shoot ourselves in the foot right here because like I thought that was a badass ability, but it says you have to designate like a temple or a place strongly located with your deity. Like who's your deity? I need
We
to like build a tiny little temple real quick.
So, Matt, I don't know if you want to reveal it outside of character, but I'll just say that we've already discussed that. There's interesting interactions with the way that Divine Soul has access to the cleric spell list, so not everything translates right. But what we've
Oh,
talked about is the usage of water as a sacred thing, so it's within canon. So we've already
okay,
discussed this.
cool. And then
specifically moving
rolled-
water.
I
As he's
rolled Arcana to know to see if it was weird, and Mara knows shit. So okay, let's roll.
Yeah, no, and that's why when I answered you about what it takes, it has to be moving water, flowing water is
Okay.
his
Okay,
is his
cool.
specific.
Cool.
Yep. And thank you for letting that technicality slide.
Well, it's not really a technicality. It's just weird interactions with where different characters have access to different spell lists. Like
Yeah.
there's some weird stuff that happens where bards can take spells off literally any spell list, and it causes some odd mumbo jumbo where like warlock spells assume a patron and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I see how this happened. Okay, cool. Mara still knows shit, so
And Dan, I would be doing this a bit north of the docks so that if we did come back, we didn't just plop right into the docks.
Yeah. So for the sake of finding like flowing water, the lake would be flowing, but you'd probably be able to find like a stream or something that was kind of a feeder into it. Um within, an hour or so walk, which would probably be um a better and a more actually roll me just a straight survival check. Yeah, you're able to find a feeder stream.
I was gonna say that's a bad roll. It's a +6. That's like my best feature. It's
Yeah, that's a 2 on the die.
Right.
If you rolled really high, I would have let you find like a nice little waterfall with a pool to kind of set up as a sanctuary.
That'd been nicer.
Yeah,
I'll take the feeder stream though. That works. Thank you for allowing me.
you get a muddy little stream.
Perfect. Seems fitting for this group. Would chuckle to myself. Great.
All right. Since we skipped the night, is there anything you guys wanted to talk about overnight? Anything you guys would like to do in the breakfast or morning before you guys set out on your way?
I don't
I
know
can
if
go
there's
with-
anything that like I can prep based on the maps. I don't know, like study the maps before we leave in the morning.
yeah, Dan, do you actually have a new map for us? Because we're all
I-
looking at maps and like we can't
Y-
see them and our characters are very confused.
Yeah, I do not because I didn't really know which path you guys were going to take, so
That is
I didn't want to fully develop 4 different options, and then
that's
have
totally fine.
3/4 of it go to waste. So now that I know which route you're taking, I've got stuff prepared to get us through a session, and then I will fully flesh out the remainder of that path. Like I have, key themes and aspects and some encounters that I want to happen down the way. but there it's like uh it's the table of contents. It's not the
Yeah.
whole
Okay.
Okay.
story.
Yeah,
Then
it's totally good.
then I'm gonna word this specifically. Can me and Stella roll or like Stella and or Ice Rose or like somebody or whatever looking over the maps? Can we roll some sort of like nature or survival or any kind of rolls to like plan out what's coming ahead given the known geographical terrain and kind of like talk of like what kind
Yeah,
of terrain are we looking at ahead?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
where are we going?
So Stella, it being her favored terrain,
Mhm.
definitely would be able to get advantage on any of the checks that she wants to do here. So I'll let you kind of identify aspects you guys are looking for. It Stella would have advantage on survival and nature.
Mhm.
You could roll, maybe Arcana if you're looking for your cleric symbols or whatever. Maybe on the map that was in the hotel. If there's anything else that you guys can come up with that you want to roll on, and even anyone else in the party, if you guys want to make checks for what you're going to be going into for this next day, just let me know. Like, are you trying to make sure it's safer? Are you trying to make sure it's quicker? What is your goal and what skill do you think can apply? And we can absolutely do some checks to kind of uh, lay out what's going to occur over the next 2 days on your way to the pass.
Yeah, Stella specifically is going to look for what is safe. And on the map for the next 2 days, she's going to try to like not exactly plan out, but sort of guess where the best camping spots are going to be.
And Bruce would just be actually rolling an insight um, on the whole party, how everyone is feeling, what they're doing, how everyone looks. If they look like they're ready.
Group insight check.
Yeah, go ahead, roll your insight. Okay. We can kind of resolve that once people get their results.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Um, who else is looking at what?
Mara would also be assisting with Stella. I would actually be using my knowledge of basically like rough drawn maps and how I've seen rough drawn maps before to match up with her verbal knowledge and firsthand knowledge of the terrain to kind of like piece together the road so that we can kind of like determine how long we have to travel before a safe spot can be found given different landmarks, etc. I'd basically just be assisting her with my knowledge of crude maps.
Okay. You can roll any wisdom-based check that you think is applicable. Which one you roll is gonna.
I have a
Um,
question. Can I not roll Arcana for my Clerics of the Road, given that I do have actual knowledge with crude maps?
is that wisdom?
It's actually
Or
intelligence.
intelligence.
But given the way that I pieced together like stories before from people and very rough knowledge, like, oh yeah, he's just down the road, go find him, and then like, having to deal with that. And then landmarks and from what Stella has been talking about with hers.
Uh, I don't think there's really like wisdom is figuring things out. Intelligence is knowing information. Um,
And I'm
so I think you could roll an Arcana to try to figure out if you have knowledge of anything that's existing in this area from other research that you've done. I think that would be fair.
okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to mix in local knowledge
Yeah.
from my chats.
Is
Let's
Naya
see what I
helping on
learned.
checks?
Yes. I don't know what kind of checks though.
Okay. You're
Perception?
I saw a nature from you, which would be fine, or you could roll a perception would be nice too. That could occur over the first day. We could apply that
Yeah, that would
for
be
looking
like
out for things.
yeah,
What
that'd be like active as opposed to us pre-planning, I guess.
what does a nature check do?
So if you're looking for specific plants, if you're looking for
Oh,
specific animals, if there's let's say if there's a rock formation that you're trying to figure out how it came to be, that would be nature.
oh,
Um
perception. Mhm.
Could
my
perception
eagle
also
eyes.
apply to things that would be non-natural?
My eagle eyes
Or
do nothing.
perception and or nature, I guess.
Honestly, you have enough time. You can do both. Naya's just out getting stoned and looking at things.
And gathering flowers.
Yeah, Naya rolled some nice nature checks, and then she wasn't paying attention on her perception. She was able to find some nice flowers and berries and things like that. It's up here. It's oddly not oddly. It's calmingly peaceful. I don't know why I said oddly. There's all kinds of different nature and stuff that she hasn't seen all that much because she spent most of her time around the coast. So this more temperate mountainous environment is fresh and new and exciting. Um, for Stella, with the 24, you're absolutely able to uh, kind of identify the paths and stuff. There's rough geographical features, and you can kind of identify where there's there's different locations that are marked, but there's not really paths drawn but between them.
Sure.
But you can just kind of tell based on the terrain indications that, oh yeah, there's probably a way to get from there to there, that
Mhm.
will allow you to get there safely. Um,
Cool.
let's see. What else? So you'd be pretty confident in that. So I think Bruce would probably pick up on that. Um, Mara with a 20 on Arcana. Just hmm. I'm just kind of thinking about the things you would have researched in the past. You would know that somewhere in these mountains there is a divination ley line, somewhere that people in the past have been able to amplify divination magic. Um, but it's been long lost. It hasn't. Its location hasn't been uh, discernible for centuries. But you know, somewhere in the past there was a place that uh, both wizards and clerics and anyone with divination magic has gone to had it amplified. Um,
In this area in general, no one knows where the ley lines are.
right, somewhere in you know a couple days north, a couple days south, this general region in the mountains, there was told of um, a ley line somewhere in there.
I am actually going to share that information with Stormblaze and tell him this might be helpful in your future conquest of the mountains.
All right. I think I don't know, something about Astronaut really rubs me the wrong way.
I know, but if there is a powerful ley line around here, I believe that you could absolutely grab the ropes of the universe and bend them to your will. So, just letting you know that that's somewhere out here, may or may not be the mountains, but it sounds similar.
Wait, did we go down to the mountains instead?
You
No, we're
haven't
not
left
going
yet.
to the mountains. I was just sharing information that I got from my role.
Oh, gotcha. We
Because
haven't
I do
started
know
moving
that
yet.
there are powerful ley lines in this area, and given the other rumors we got, Mara's just gonna assume they're in the mountains. And if they are, Stormblaze should know that information.
Yeah.
But if they're
And,
not, we'll find them anyway.
and then you also know that there was a lot of magical activity up here in the last war, and some of it has gone missing, and it's wizard research facilities, storage facilities, things like that. People came up here to hide out, kind of like Edorin, where he kind of went to his rural chateau to set down roots. And after the war ended, a lot of them were never heard from again.
Interesting. We're about to walk on some strange lands, my friends. Keep your eyes open and try not to, you know, I don't know what we're
Tip
about
the
to
cow.
embark, so I don't. Yeah, just like let's just like try to like not make bigger problems than what we may face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First and
Oh,
foremost, Sella gets
yep.
to her village. I got
Yeah.
it.
That's the main priority, honestly, that we're working with. So
Yeah.
we should roll with that.
Mara, for last long rest, can you roll me an Arcana check? Still good enough. As you're sitting, or as you take your rest and you kind of check in on, you know, your attuning to items is kind of a natural thing you do when you take a rest. And so kind of when you're resting, it's just
It's what I'm doing
kind
my
of something,
journal time.
yeah, passive thing that you kind of experience. Um you feel yourself recovered from the casting of the wish spell, but you have this feeling that you could not go through it again.
Noted. I write that down in my journal.
That was the D100 check you made that you rolled an 18 on.
Oh boy.
So you are no longer able to cast wish spells.
Okay.
What the fuck are these gifts?
So we went down a Courage the Cowardly Dog rabbit hole.
I forgot how much I like that show.
The show is insane.
It was so weird.
In that case, in some time before we head out, would I get a chance to talk to Luthien?
You absolutely would.
Would I, Luthien?
If
I
you
don't
can
know,
pull him
would
away
you?
from Sasha.
I mean, we usually take watch we do usually take watch together though. I don't know. Is he hanging out with Sasha? I don't want to interrupt him hanging out with Sasha.
No, no, he's not hanging out with Sasha.
Okay, because we do usually take watch together.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Mara would just kind of like go over and sit next to Luthien, and she would open up her spell book and flip to the page that has a little ribbon bookmark with the wish ring tied to it. And she's gonna turn to Luthien and say, "So it's pretty much universally agreed that I didn't use this right. And I want to not hold on to this anymore."
And you think that I'm more responsible than you? I mean, you knew what I wanted to do. That ring, right?
Right, but also I think we're kind of like past that at this moment, because if you undo that, you undo everything else, which just causes to get back to Stella's time problem. So if you don't want to carry it, who do you think should carry it?
Oh, I'll carry
What
it. I
what
won't
watch
use
are
it.
you
I'll
guys
carry it.
on?
We'd probably be on second watch, like we usually are.
Well, this is something you would discover in the morning, so I think you'd probably
Oh,
have to
well
pull him
then
aside
I
sometime
probably
during
have
the
to
day.
pull him. Then I pull him
Yeah,
aside sometime before we head out for the road.
yeah.
So I'd probably be off to the side with Luthien. I don't know. I wouldn't be like crazy stealthy about it, but like I, obviously try to be having this conversation with the dude. Not like that though.
All right. Well, whenever it takes place, my answer would be that I'll hang on to it. I won't use it. Why? I'll give it to me. Why not just hang on to it? I mean, you learned your lesson. You didn't want to use it again. He's not feeling it.
Well, it's not really like that. It's more I don't want it to not be available if it's needed. And I don't if it would be needed, somebody like I don't think I can actually use this object again. I think it would kill me if I tried and then not even work.
Well, then that's a good reason not to use it again, I guess. But if
But
you don't want to hang on to it, I'll hang on to it. That's fine.
so I want the option of a wish in general, but also like do you think you're up for it, or do you think anyone else should hold it? Like, should I give it to Stella instead? Like, what do you think about this?
The more I've thought about it, I don't think something like this should even exist. I think it's equally uh, dangerous in any of our hands. So it might as well be me. But
And when he says it's so dangerous it shouldn't exist, Mara actually rips the ribbon out of her, like the ribbon bookmark out of her spell book with the ring still attached to it, and then hands the entire thing over to Luthien.
Okay.
So you figure out what to do with it from here. I'm done with that kind of magic now. And then Mara will just like walk away and go see what's for breakfast as we're packing up to leave.
All right. I'm just gonna stand here for a second looking at this thing. Well, for more than a second. And figure out what to do with it.
What's your passive perception?
That is a good question. It's pretty high though. 19.
You notice Sasha was watching from afar and then ducks behind the building.
Like I saw, I caught her like watching the conversation happen and then like ducking really quick when she's
Yep.
noticed me notice.
Yep.
Probably I'll go talk to her. I'll like go over that way. See what she's doing.
Oh, hi.
She what is she doing like as I round the corner?
She's got like her shield off and she's like examining it, like looking at it from different angles and how the light reflects.
It's a nice shield. Everything okay?
Knocks on it. Yeah, should be good in case we get in any fights.
Good. Yeah, good shield's good to have. You don't want to get hurt. I thought that maybe I feel like everyone's acting really weird lately. And I
Who's
can't really
everyone?
figure it out. Well, I mean, like I was talking to Storm the other night, and Ice Rose came over, and she said that she thought I might be in danger. She thought that somebody might be trying to kill me, and asked. She said she was talking to Mara about like crushing something or what a crush was, and I'm pretty sure that she was talking about like little kid antics and stuff like that. But she only mentioned Mara, and there's no way like Mara would have any kind of crush on me. And I don't. Is somebody like really trying to kill somebody? I have no idea what's going on. And then I saw you kind of like being a little weird over when I was talking to Mara just now, and Mara just gave me this ring of 3 wishes. She just said she didn't want it anymore and gave it to me. I
She
have
gave
no
you a
idea
ring.
what's happening. The wish ring that ended up ultimately bringing MX back.
He gave you a ring. I love that.
I don't really feel comfortable holding it, but I don't really think that anyone would or anyone should. I just feel like everything is so strange lately.
Where
Haven't
do you think
noticed
it would be
anything.
safe?
I don't think it can be safe.
Do you want to destroy it?
I wouldn't even know how to go about doing that. Something like this. I'm sure it's a lot more than just a dispel magic or remove curse spell.
Yeah, we could figure it out. It's not going to be easy, but if you want to get rid of it, we can find a way to get rid of it.
I think that might be a good idea eventually, but I don't think we can do it anytime soon. We've got to go deal with this other situation.
I
Stella's
can-
family.
I've got resources. I've got people I can talk to once we get back to town again. We can figure this out if you keep it safe.
Okay. Like keep it secret as well.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Thank you.
A lot
Yeah.
of these items, they were made ages and ages and ages ago, and there's information out there about them. There's people learning how to make them, and in the process learning how to undo them as well. We can, if it's not something I can do, we can find someone who can help, or someone who can teach me, show me how to do it.
I think that would be might be the best course of action, you know. Maybe we can run it by everybody and see what they think, but ultimately I think that's probably the what I would be most comfortable with.
Yeah. Or you could just wish for meaningless bullshit twice and it will have no more use. But
I guess
that's
that's
open
true.
a can of worms.
It could be. I guess if you used like autological statements that can't be interpreted any like they're defined just by themselves, like I wish that water is water.
Let me roll a Arcana check for no. For Sasha. No. Why don't you go ahead and roll an Arcana check as well?
Oh man.
With a 20, you know the wish spell can be used for casting 8th level spells and below, and there's no risk for shenanigans. It just casts the spell. So you could cast 2 8 level or lower spells out of the ring, and it would be out of charges.
Ah, noted. Well, that's something to keep in mind. Probably be cheaper and a lot less hassle than
Yeah.
researching ways to physically destroy it.
And they don't have to be on your spell list or anything like that. You know, it could be like teleport or create water or fireball.
Oh my gosh. Fireball.
Force Cage, I think, is level 8. That's a fun one.
Not just fireball, but fireball at 8th level.
Firestorm.
Isn't there like a basically like a roided out banishment spell? It's around 8th level.
There are a lot of really crazy 8th level spells.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Well,
but
maybe we hang on to it for now.
Yeah, that's why I gave it to Luthien.
All right, let's go back and fight Edrin.
Oh my god.
No!
No, stop Eloise can go home real quick. We have to check in with her parents, and then she can come out and play.
Okay, save it for the Edrin fight.
No.
Storm.
We'll circle back. Let's go gain a level in Stella's village first.
No. Even worse.
What are you talking about? We've gained levels from simple roleplay before. That's not that scary.
I still thinks her village is the scariest thing we've encountered so far. That's trauma for you.
Yeah, so with Sasha's prompting about using the ring in other ways, you are able to recall that you could just use it on other spells. And she'll kind of like tap you on the chest and be like, "That's a good idea."
I think so too. Thanks.
A lot easier than destroying it, though. That wouldn't be a bad skill to know how to do.
That's fair. We can always learn how to do it.
I
Oh.
know Ice was talking about destroying the dagger at one point too. So we might have to figure that out still.
Just a mass
yeah.
relic destruction. Okay. Oh, that's been actually really helpful to talk through something that actually makes sense, because the last few days have just, I don't know, it's just been off.
Yeah, I wishes they upset the stability of reality and hair planes asunder. They do all kinds of crazy shit.
Right. Right. Well, should we go get some food?
Yeah.
Meet everybody for breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, that's why there's that idiom, be careful what you wish for.
That's fair. Very fair. Right. We can go off and get some food.
Okay.
Player aside, I would be so mad if you guys destroy instead of dispelling this dagger. I want a matching side piece to my fancy armor.
It's okay. Just straight smashing it with a hammer is last resort. I promise.
Yeah, if you mash two legendary weapons together, like, can one destroy the other, or do they destroy each other?
An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. One of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Well, there's also actually now I can look up the Ring of Three Wishes, because I was just reading the description of the portable hole, and now if you place a portable hole inside like a bag of holding, you create a gate to the astral plane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what happens if you try to dispel a legendary item with a legendary item? I don't know. We'll see.
So the way the portable hole and bag of holding work, it has to do because of extra dimensional space. It's not legendary v legendary. It's an extra dimensional space thing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like that wish would, I don't think, be a spell. I don't think there's a spell that would just be able to dispel a legendary item. So it would be something where the shenanigans of wish interpretation would come into play. So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna unleash a horde of undead, isn't it?
Depends what you wish for and how you wish for it.
Let's not. All right, sorry. Let's go. Are we ready to hit the road?
I think you are, unless
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Can we, hey DM, can we institute a save point right around here for different timelines about who ends up carrying the ring. I think there's just a whole different. Like, I want to see what happens if Storm has the ring from here. If Luthien has the ring.
You have to pick up a your character has to have a D8 and you have to throw it up in the air with each number corresponding to a different character.
Nice
Perfect.
community reference. I get it. I get it. I'm with you.
No, I think it should be like the end of Wayne's World. You know, you've got the good ending, the bad ending, the Scooby Doo ending. You just have one for each character. You know.
I want to know which timeline ends up with felt goatees.
I kind of want to do like a
Like
one shot or
Storm.
like spin off where like each of us gets the ring.
There's a timeline where Black stole the ring, and that I think is the goatee timeline.
Speaking of possible timelines, you guys haven't looked in the mirror lately.
Oh damn.
Uh-oh.
Why do you do this to us? Like, why do you remind us of the magical trove that we have inside of our
You guys
possession?
were having all this fun theory crafting about alternate timelines when it doesn't need to be theory. You've got
Okay,
this mirror in
we
your
already
possession.
broke one. Honestly, we already broke
We're
a timeline. What does the
afraid.
mirror really mean? Honestly, is the mirror even truth at this point? Because Ice never had to fight for the knife back.
You guys used a wish spell. That changes shit.
Okay, but what I'm saying is maybe the mirror don't mean shit.
Yeah, Stella is definitely not gonna look in the mirror. She's gonna be like, nope, keep on going.
Actually, I should send you the entirety of Luthien's backstory. I wrote like a super in-depth one and just figured it probably would never like come out, but if all of a sudden we're in a different timeline, that could have some really interesting consequences.
Yeah,
Adventure Diary. Let's read that for fan fiction.
I know I got
Additional info.
at least an outline of it. I don't remember if it was just you and I talking on one. I don't think I
Yeah.
ever got like the whole thing.
Oh, there's a
But
lot more.
yeah, this goes for anyone. If you have stuff in your backstory, make sure that you send it to me. So it can be worked in because I am working things into the story and there are little bits and bops that are dropped here and there that you guys, some of them you're discovering, some of them you aren't, but they will continue to be a part of the world and things that can be interacted with. So the
Man,
more info the better.
this Wish logo GIF has made me think that wished for the right knife back off of Wish.com, and we got Imix instead.
No. The worst.
Oh man, that's what happens.
Now that Dan's reminded us of the mirror, if no one wants to look at it, I have someone I want to keep track of.
Go for it.
Ice
think it's
Rose, keep
fraud
us
magic.
informed.
It doesn't work.
I mean, yeah, I want to look for Edred.
Okay.
D100?
I roll it in secret now.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's right.
You rolled a 42.
If I rolled a 49, you probably would have seen yourselves having dinner with him.
Oh.
Interesting.
But that's
Fun,
not what
fun,
happened.
He's halfway through his life. Good to know.
Huh. Drink.
You know, now that I'm actually looking at my notes and all the mirror stuff, Edrin knew Hildebrandis before he became a Death Knight. So if we do end up meeting Hildebrandt, we could potentially ask him about Edrin also.
Good place to gather info.
Is time travel a possibility in the D&D universe by any normal mechanics, or is it would have to be kind of homebrewed?
I don't know about by normal mechanics, but my character in the other campaign was the god of time, and there's all types of time shenanigans going on. So it's definitely not something that I've ruled out. Also, based on the fact that I've allowed the mirror of the past to see into the future as well, that should tell you a little something about my stance on that.
Also, Black is running around free in the world with a time manipulation device.
And he still got that. I forgot
Wait,
about it.
what?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
yeah, that happened.
Wait, what? What the fuck
One
does
of
he
the other
have?
pieces of loot that he was supposed to deliver to somebody that he was very vague on who. And now Black is running around the world with a time dilation
Yeah,
device.
the
Good luck.
chronometer or chronometer, whatever it is. Sorry, I'll find it.
Who knows
I'm
what he's
just
going to get into
saying
with that?
that
But
I am
here's the thing.
rereading a very specific book series that has to deal with time travel, and this literal thing happened where a character had a very powerful item and they fucked up everything. So I was just like, what?
Oh yeah,
We
Not
left
gonna lie,
Black
I'm
with that?
imagining Black as a time cop right now, like working for a secret underground organization.
I mean, if he's a time cop, he has to adhere to time cop rules. So at least there's that. But Jesus.
I mean, I'm glad you guys like Roos because you might forgive me for whatever Black is doing right now. I can guarantee you he is not doing good things. I can guarantee you he is making a mess of everything. So at one point we will have to deal with that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
God
he's
yeah.
an
damn it.
NPC right
I
now.
mean, I honestly don't think Black would mess with the goods that he's delivering.
We really fucked up with the axe.
Yeah, but that wasn't Black.
I mean,
Was
that,
it?
that was Black. That was because Black didn't want to pay fair wages.
Wait, you blaming
Right,
me?
No, not you. I'm blaming Black. I said
but
Black
Black would
didn't
have
want to
gone
pay fair
through.
wages.
Black would have kept to his end of the contract. Like he would have delivered it. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying
but
to
he
say.
was
Like,
also
but
very open to killing the host and stealing his mansion. So I'm just
I mean,
saying.
well, yeah. But
I-
then Black's solo now, so
50-50
there's not.
shot.
I love that Black is an NPC for Dan to control because I gave him chaos. He has chaos.
I'm trying to work on Ice's vision, and I am just sitting here laughing.
All right, but I do want to say though, like, just to tag on to that, like, I completely freaking forgot what I was going to say about Black.
That's okay. The point is, time travel is theoretically possible, but is it worth it?
The answer is no.
The answer is, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Can we
God damn it.
can we do like one shots where we just play around with this wish ring stuff?
We could absolutely do like somebody makes a bullshit wish, and like we just like fucking make something.
Non-canon.
Yeah, and then we wake up our next session and it's a dream.
That's what Murphy's World is all about. I am prepared
Wish
for
for
such
more wish
eventualities.
rings.
Yeah, that
Yes,
could be that could be one of the side one shots that is not run by me. But I'm gonna tell you very straight up, I'm not gonna let you guys mess with tomfoolery in the world without the sake of consequences. If you want to try some bullshit thing, does this work and is this gonna end the world if we do it? You're gonna have to do it for real. I'm not gonna let you guys
we
off
have to
the hook.
actually kill
Yes.
all of the gobos on the planet.
Yeah.
I like it. No, fair enough. I think a Murphy's World dream at some point would be fun. It's a great experiment for the ring. But I love Dan. I agree with you. I think consequences have become a running theme in this campaign.
Fuck around and find out.
Yep.
Mhm.
The avalanche.
Is that the Three Wagons logo? Can that be like our little like subtext, like Three Wagons? Fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm. Our motto. Mission statement.
Okay. I need one more second to not 1 second, obviously. I need another probably 20 seconds to think about Ice Rose's thing. I'm gonna walk away and get a drink real quick while I'm doing that.
Dun, 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 da, 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 dun, dun, da, dun, da, dun, dun, da, dun, da, dun, dun. Oh man, too low. Too low. I couldn't get there.
Yeah, it's like the national anthem, man. You got to pick your key carefully.
But yeah, you got to know ahead of time.
Surprising range.
I don't know how low that root note was. Man, that got
Mhm.
low. Oh, I got to
Yeah.
start over then. Dun, 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 dun.
Used to be my sound check song on bass.
Mine was the Mario World 1 level 2. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I love that that's not in time. Have you ever like counted that out?
Yeah, I've tried. I gave up. I realized it was just nonsense. I was like,
It's
there's
so
no.
bizarre.
It's like 9. It's like 9/12, then 7/12. And I was like, no, they just didn't care.
But
They didn't
12
care.
isn't.
No. They're going by feel, which is how you need to play that level.
Except it's a computer, which is terrifying.
Mhm.
It's a computer playing music by feel.
Okay.
Here we are, still with it in our heads.
Ice Rose, you see Edorin in a dark chamber. He's just kind of uh, he's just kind of walking around. You see a slight green glow on his face. He puts his hand up against a glass tank filled with green liquid. In there is a nude figure that looks exactly like him, and its eyes open.
What?
I'm trying to figure out how this would work. Would I get a sense of undead or faithing undead? But I'm leaning more towards undead given Edrin's attention
Let me check
from this.
something. You do not. You get the sense, or you based on your knowledge of undead, you didn't detect Edorin to be undead, and you don't detect this other figure that resembles him to be undead.
What can I make out what their expressions are for both of them on their face?
Roll either a perception or an insight. You cannot.
I assess
It's
myself.
they both seem very stone-faced, but you are not insightful enough to be able to perceive emotion.
Yeah, I think we established that last session. All right. Ice will hand him her back to Luthien with a sort of quizzical look on, confused look on her face.
You find out anything interesting?
Edrin has a twin.
Twin. Two
Okay.
Edrins.
2 Edrins. One for me, one for Stormblaze. Let's get to Skell's Village.
Luthien will actually give a little chuckle at that one. That was pretty good. Funny. Oh, well, it's wild. Would have thought wins. I'll just put it away, and we can head on down that road. Oh my gosh, Olsen twins, get out of here.
Sorry, lots of derailing this session, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
Time to step out on the road.
Yeah.
For the first day, you guys can roll relevant checks for exploration. Mara, you can look for symbols if you want. You can roll natures or perceptions or survivals, whatever is relevant to your characters, or any other skill that you guys would be using to help the party navigate the wilderness.
I mean, I'm just trying to make sure we don't get ambushed and murdered. And
That'd
then
be
we can-
perception.
Yeah, just making our way down the road.
I would also do perception, but I would be using my keen sense of smell.
Okay.
Oh,
Sniffing.
I hope we don't get into a fight because I've had 2 rolls over 20 so far, and I think that's about my limit.
And then Stella, do you want to go ahead and roll me another exploration check? I'll let your stealth apply to the whole party and your ability to help them navigate stealthily, but if there's your ability to find something within this space.
Okay, yeah. So do you want me to roll stealth or survival?
You've already rolled the stealth, so you could roll a survival or nature or a perception or
Okay. With advantage? Not
yep,
advantage?
because it's mountains.
Okay, perfect. It's a 20.
Okay. Luthien, you don't notice any threats. You don't know if it's because there are no threats there or if it's because Stella keeps you guys so goddamn stealthy.
Shut
I
the
can't roll for
fuck
insight on
up.
that one. To see if
Roll an
I'm just
insight.
kidding. Oh shit.
Stella is stealthy as fuck.
All right.
You don't have any reason to believe there's anything that's like directly a threat here, but if there was,
Wouldn't matter, huh?
it wouldn't matter.
It's good to
You
know.
guys are being watchful and stealthy. So anything that could get at you here doesn't seem to notice.
All right. Well, respect to Stella.
Woohoo!
I don't have my little hobo symbols chart on this
You
computer
can just
yet.
like make something
Yeah.
up and say symbol for X
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
vague, whatever.
Yep. Yeah. So just narrating it. Let me think what symbols would probably be there. You don't see many. This isn't necessarily on a road. This is probably the least road you've been on in a long time. Even when you were traveling to the whatchamacallit, estate, the manor, it was still almost a road. It was a path. This you guys are actually, and especially the way Stella is taking you, it seems like it's gonna be like she's like, oh, it's this way, and it looks like you're just walking randomly off into the forest. There's no path there, but you're going. Every now and then it does cross what appears to be a path. Um, uh, Here or there, cutting through the mountains. On a gravel one, you are able to find one that it indicates that supplies are ahead if you're in need.
That's good to know.
I
I'll point that out to people for other people who are also interested in the cleric symbols and learning them. Like I would point out what that one meant. And also along the path during the time when there would just be like a small stretch of path that was like vaguely connected to other paths by happenstance. I would actually put down a symbol that basically would translate to, you know, this ground has potential. Like basically like marking out like, hey, this isn't really a road, but like it might be a road. So like, treat it like a road.
Yes, like this could be a road one day.
Right. Yeah. So I'd
Yeah.
put just a little hopeful mark on the road when we're going up there, and then I would show the other ones to other people.
Okay. Ice Rose with a 12, you're just able to find like nuts and berries and things like that as you're walking throughout the day. Nothing that's
Sorry, that's for Faithing Undead. It's a survival check as well.
oh, okay. If that's for Faithing Undead, no, you're not able to find anything.
You can make mine that.
Yeah, Storm. You're able to find some nuts and berries.
Just what we need. More nuts.
I mean, Roos does eat a lot.
That's true.
Oh, dang it. I pushed again twice.
That's fine. What are you looking for?
Just fruits or flowers. Again, looking around. Plants.
You can find plenty of fruits and flowers. The fruits up here would probably be more I don't know, is a cherry a fruit? But they'd be more like that. They're not like big. Maybe apples. You'd probably find apples up here. And yeah, plenty of flowers around. Nothing that's like too big, but you're able to find some nice bunches of them of different colors and whites and purples and yellows. Um, big bunches of small flowers.
Excellent. Naya's gonna collect those flowers and then make little flower crowns to pass out to people. Cause she's so high.
Yes.
I love that. I'm gonna keep that. We should all wear them as we fight things.
See,
Dan,
Stella's a
if
princess. Look at her
Absolutely.
crown.
Oh my god.
Dan, if you want to use it for Naya and stuff, I sent you a list of flora and herbs and also fruit with seasons, and yeah, I think just with seasons a while back.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that more for like the dedicated hunting, not just exploration throughout the day.
Gotcha.
So that like that's when that's your downtime activity, not a kind of passive check. Okay, let's see. Who have I gotten so far? Storm Blaze, I got Luthien. I need Roos and Stella. Um Stella, you're able to find an old trail that looked like it was trying to be hidden that leads up to a rocky outcropping. You're getting into the base of the mountain at this point. It'll take you another day to get up into the
Mhm.
pass, but you're already way up into the foothills. And Roos, you're able to see in that rocky cropping um, something that looks like a stone chimney or something like that up on the top of it.
Is there smoke coming from it?
Nope. And this is a few hundred feet away from you off of this semi path that you guys are following. But you guys could certainly take a detour to investigate further if you're interested.
What time of day is it?
This would be getting probably later in the day. Let me roll. Check. Actually, no, this is earlier in the day. This is about 11 o'clock.
Okay, then I would not mention it.
Stella would, I think, at least say like this outcropping is a little bit like seems like someone's living in there. I guess is what she wants to say. And just let everybody know and be like, do you want to skirt past it or investigate it?
I mean, I'm open to investigating it if anyone else is interested, or we can make our way forward.
We should stay on target. Let's get Stella to her village.
Hmm.
You said it's only a few hundred feet away. Dan, sorry.
Yeah.
If you'd like, I could check it. I could, if we're really curious about it, I could be there and back in just a moment.
Wait, what was it? I stepped away for a second.
Stella pointed out that there is a like a path that leads off to a what ultimately looks like a chimney, like a little structure in the distance. And she told the party about it. The general consensus is that we're not interested in seeing it, but I'm just Bruce is saying that if it's if we want to see what's there, I could be there and back in no time and just let you know what's there.
Does
Knowing
it
our
look like a
party,
home?
It looks like it's trying to be disguised as just a, you know, just a rocky part of this terrain. There's a path that looks like it was intended to be concealed, and there is it looks kind of like a chimney, but it looks like it's supposed to be concealed as well. But it's
Oh,
obviously of construction that was put up there.
oh, no. If they're also trying to be stealthy, maybe let's not bother them. Because we don't know who they are, they don't know who we are, and we have a target. Maybe let's not poke at people who prefer not to be poked at.
Oh, completely understood. I just I guess this is a good time to mention that I and one other person can make a trip like this up to a good range, 500 feet or so. If we ever need to make a quick scouting trip, I do have the ability to get us there and back in a matter of seconds.
Boy, do Storm and Ice wish they knew that a couple of nights ago.
yeah.
Well,
Ice
very
will
good to know.
Ice will definitely be thinking that. She just look over at Roos and kind of look over at Storm to see his reaction to this.
Whispers over to you. The fat man is lying to us. He's been lying to us this entire time.
He's keeping something. He's holding some cards close to his hand, but he may be useful for some reconnaissance.
We're total mayhem.
She looks around. Where's Mara? How far away is Mara from us?
Not far enough to be near this or far enough away to be away from this conversation.
Okay, Ice will look
I'm
around.
nowhere near where this is happening right now.
Ice will kind of look around, like talk about this more. Overwatch. And then out loud to the rest of the party, that's good to know that that's available, but knowing us and our penchant for getting involved in things, my vote is that we leave it and push on to Stella's village. We are on a bit of a time crunch.
Certainly. Agreed.
I'm gonna leave a tiny little rock or a tiny little mark on a little inconspicuous rock that just says "Leave this place be," and we're gonna keep moving on.
Okay.
And to be clear, I'm gonna be marking it with chalk, so like it won't last more than like 3 days.
Okay. That is useful. You can tell that like how rural of a place you are and how non-road of a road you are on currently. It's very unlikely anyone will be around in 3 days, except maybe the people who may or may not live in that thing.
Exactly. That's who the message was intended for.
Okay. All right. You can continue on your way. For the rest of the night. That was your checks and such for the day. Um, what's her face? Stella, had already scouted out a good location for you guys to take your rest that she thinks you'll be safe. It's it's probably like a little let's say like a little outcropping where you're elevated from the area below you, but you still have good tree cover where you're not out in the open. So you have a good view of everything around, but uh, some bit of a defensible and easy to observe position from.
Great. I will before if we're setting up to take watches. I will send some sendings to my family. Um, and assuming that I probably got responses back, I would just continue those conversations before I take a long rest. So I would take then, I guess, the which watch did I have to take? I'm sorry, you said I had to take a certain watch in order for that to happen.
Oh, if you're doing your, but you didn't cast anything. Well, I guess you cast the recall or whatever, but um if you want to cast them during your watch, it has to be the first watch. If you're fine with casting them before your watch, it doesn't matter what order of watch you take.
Yeah, I would just cast them like as we're setting up camp, almost like a hey, we're ending the day. How's it going? Blah blah
Yeah.
blah sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can take whatever watch you want if people want
Okay.
to
Okay.
rearrange themselves.
Good. And I think the best assumption for this is that if I have these are third level spells for me. If I have and I have 3 slots, whatever slots I have extra at the end of any day before we camp, I'm going to use them to communicate with my wife and then my daughters in those orders.
Yeah.
Most likely, unless you want to throw a wrench in the works with any sort of drama or anything.
Drama.
No, I mean you'd be using them before your watch, so if shenanigans happen during your watch, just keep in mind that those spell slots would be gone.
Yeah, that's the reason I bring it up is so I drain them so that I know that they're gone.
Yep. Mhm.
Cool. I just drained all 3. We're good.
Okay. Do you guys want to keep this order, or is there anyone who wants to rearrange their watches to talk to someone else? Um,
No, I don't think so. Did anyone take first watch?
it looks like you're currently in that slot, and if no one else is moving,
Excellent.
Roos would probably
I
go back to
would
bed.
like
Yeah, I'd take a watch with whoever. It doesn't matter.
I would like to ask Sasha to switch watches with me. I would actually like to wake up last instead of in the middle of the night for once.
I will I'll fill in whatever gap there happens to be. No preference. So first watch potentially.
Ice and I, you're both happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Ice will always take, well, almost always take third watch.
Oh yeah. Is anyone else on third watch?
Just you and Ice.
Oh yeah, good.
Mhm.
I'll just hang out in the area and look at stuff that while Ice goes hunting.
Okay. Stella and Roos, you can both roll perceptions for your watch. Or any other skill, any other typical skill you guys would roll. You're sniffing again, Roos?
Yes. In my old age, I'm not very good at seeing at night, so
So, oh, sorry, you can take the first one. It didn't come up right away, so I clicked it again.
I know how that goes. Oops, that was not what I wanted to roll. Ooh, close. You do not notice anything on your watch. Um, other
Ooh.
than like typical nature things. Oh, and your perception would have been an advantage anyway, because mountains.
Oh shoot. Okay. Mountains.
Yeah. And yeah, your other rolls had been an advantage. So yeah, that was good. Good that you rolled two. Um, you don't notice anything on your watch that's of concern. Um, this is getting to the point where you guys are very well on your way up the slope. Like when you look down over like where you have traveled over the course of the day, it's like surprising like how much lower it was when you started the day. It looks like it was down like so far and tiny, like you can barely see the little uh docks on the lake. You can see like you can see the little blip there, but it looks like it's so far below you and so far away that it's kind of like it's hard to believe you traveled so far in just a day. Um, the vertical climate just really distorts the terrain.
Hmm. It's quite beautiful up here.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. I guess I never really thought of it that way.
What, you never thought about it as beautiful?
I mean, there's not a ton of mountains exactly near my village, but I've been on a few before my journey. It's just kind of, I don't know, the land around us.
Mm. I often find the mountains give me a good perspective. They make everything seem small and therefore more manageable.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose they do, to an extent.
How about you? How do you feel about your village? We've spoken recently, but of course it's another day closer. Any apprehension? Any additional apprehensions? I guess I should ask.
I guess not additional. I guess, well, I suppose the um conversation in my mind is more central to how the party uh outside of myself is going to react to what they see in my village. It's very singular.
Mm.
Um but I don't know. I guess every individual is going to have their reaction, but in terms of Ice Rose specifically, it seems, at least from what we've talked about before, that our villages might be similar.
Mm.
So I'm at least curious to see if what everyone experiences is what she was expecting, or different, or better. I
Are you
guess
an
I'm
only
just,
child? Are you an only child?
I mean, as far as I am aware, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Did you have many friends growing up in your village?
No.
Interesting again. Well, I find that when you're used to isolation and living on your own, it's sometimes difficult to bring in other personalities that may differ from your own, especially to a place that is familiar to you and not to them.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that well, as far as things go, I think you've done an excellent job of selecting possibly the most varied and potentially difficult group to ever bring home. So I think your fears and apprehensions are warranted. However, I think that at the core, you may be able, from what I gather, to convince the majority of the people that you travel with to follow your lead. If you continue to be as confident as I know you are.
Well, I do appreciate that. And there is definitely a bit of apprehension in terms of I know this group can be very chaotic, which is kind of their baseline. Um, if I can ask a question of you,
Of course.
you said that you hadn't met some people from my village before.
Mhm.
Can you tell me a little bit about them? What their plans were? Were they traveling with other people? Were they by themselves?
For all intents and purposes, and Dan, as a DM, correct me if any of this doesn't make sense, but for all intents and purposes, they lived quite normal lives. The ones who stayed outside of your village, and the ones who returned, I only knew briefly enough to encounter them and know that they had a little bit of. I found that the ones that returned had a little bit less of a sense of adventure than those who stayed out, and the ones who did stay out managed quite well. They fit in well, they adapted well, um, and each one was an individual. I don't feel like any of them. I don't feel like there was any common thread throughout them, besides the thread that tied them to the past. But from what I gather of the people that I've met from your village, that thread tends to be a strong one, and it tends to build strong elves.
Yeah.
Have you ever been invisible?
Um uh no, not technically, I suppose.
Well, then I think you should know the freedom that comes with that. If you would like, um, perhaps the remainder of our watch, I can let you see what that is like.
Really?
Of course. So,
That's
assuming that Stella is willing, I will cast Greater Invisibility.
yeah.
Greater.
Oh
Oh, wow.
oh
Okay.
no.
No, no, that's cool. That caught me off guard.
Yes.
Um, I mean, it's
Stella
only 1 minute.
accepts.
It's 1 minute, but so I'll cast it on herself and on me. I'll use it's a let's see a V and S, so it's verbal and somatic. So it does not require concentration. So I will cast it for both of us, and we will be invisible.
Oh my god.
You both disappear.
Wow.
Do we see each other? No,
Uh,
right?
you don't see each other, Roos. You can definitely smell where Stella's at.
Yeah.
Stella, with your passive perception, you're very perceptive. You don't see him, but you can see like the depression in falling leaves where he's currently standing. And even if he doesn't move, when he shifts his weight even slightly, you can hear a little crunch crunch. Um, but
Got it.
yeah, you can't see each other, but you knew where each other were, and you're keenly aware of each other's presence still. Um, it's eerie. It's not like there's any sort of remnants of the illusion. You're both just gone. Your effects on the environment around you are still there, but you guys are not.
Is there one other question for you, Dan? Are there any sort of loose, large, semi-large items around, like logs, rocks, things like that?
Oh, absolutely. Up here in the mountains, there would be rocks and logs, things like that, sticks,
Okay,
fallen leaves.
great. That may be applicable in a moment. Great. So I will say, well, I mean, you probably don't feel any different, but you look quite different. You look like nothing at all. Um,
Yeah,
what I
you
would say,
too.
what I would say about your people is that they are the closest I've ever met to people who can be invisible without actually being invisible. And get used to what this feels like. And you might find that you quite enjoy the ability to explore the world without eyes on you.
Hmm. Yeah. I I I mean, it's only been a few seconds, but I honestly wish you were there years ago. But it's still great even now. I mean, I don't know if you want to venture far. And she sort of like taps at the air like around her to be like, where is he? To try to figure out where he is. To hold hands with Roos if she has the ability to.
Oh, of course. I have a fun game that I like to play, and
Oh.
that is find the object. And so I at that point I will cast telekinesis, and I will pick up a large, medium large rock or log. Tell me, Dan, whichever is easier and more accessible.
A log would definitely be more accessible here.
Objects worn and carried by creature, your object. Okay, and I will since we're at an incline, right?
You're on a so there's a you're on an incline that continues to go up behind you, but you're on kind of a level area where it drops down around your campsite, and you're kind of elevated over what's below you.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna cast this. I'm not gonna tell her what I'm casting, but all of a sudden I will raise a log that is within our visual sight, up and out 30 feet
Oh.
and drop it to basically let it just start rolling. And then I will say, I'll race you to it. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna take off running towards wherever it goes.
Probably take off like a half a second behind him
Yeah.
as soon as he
Why
starts
why don't
running.
why don't you both roll initiative?
Okay.
Ah!
Oh, okay. I want her to
W-
roll higher than me. I really do.
Was that an advantage?
Oh, was it? I'm sorry.
I guess you kind of have the surprise on her, so I'll give you advantage. Oh, okay. Tied initiative, but she has the higher dexterity. So she's
Yep.
gonna go a second before you.
That's what we wanted. I kind of that's
Yeah.
exactly. I feel it's in line with characters. Great.
Um,
I'm not
First off,
actually.
what are your speeds?
My speed is 30 feet.
I'm 35.
35. Okay.
Uh, However, um, uh, I will. Okay, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Um, I'm gonna trail behind her, and then whenever we're close enough, I'm going to cast Far Step and beat her to the item.
No!
Just so how we see how this goes. Stella, go ahead and roll an athletics, and because you're in the mountains, I'm
Mhm.
gonna say this is an advantage.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh.
You
Eat that,
take off.
bitch.
You're just darting like he looks like he's gonna go down and around, and you just leap off the precipice in kind of this like running jump where your legs are still moving, and then you hit the ground still running, heading towards it, and like in just 6 seconds you're like three-quarters of the way there already, and it catches Roos really off guard, so he's only able to run for his one turn before he has to far step there to get there before you, because he thought this was going to be easy to beat you there, and no,
Not quite.
no.
Great. So I get there. We can't see each other at all. We're seeing each other's like the things around each other. Um,
um Stella, roll a stealth for me,
oh,
Ooh. Okay. Do you want me to roll at advantage? I have a cloak.
because you are invisible. Oh, and because
Excellent.
of your cloak.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. um Roos, roll your oh, if it's not based on sight, what does your cloak do?
Oh,
Is it
okay.
is it based on sight? I think it's the Cloak of Elvenkind, right?
It's
But I have
do,
keen
do,
smell.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So it's only the 12. Roos, roll your
Ooh.
perception at advantage.
Oh my god.
Roos, you don't know where she's at.
That's why
Fuck if I know.
and you know what? Can I retcon this or say that I don't actually? I'm not going to use Far Step. I'm going to let her win.
You don't know that she got that far ahead. You're like waiting to use your far step, and then she's like, "I got it."
Yeah, and at that point, I will use my Far Step to just arrive by her.
Okay.
So I will still use it. And have we arrived now?
Yeah, yeah. So just to re-go over the turn of events, like you're ready to move, but she darts off before you can do it. You don't know where she's at. You don't know where she's going, but she is just bolting fast as fuck, and stealthy as fuck too. So before you know it, you're like moving up, and you're getting ready to far step, and she's already there.
Great. Okay, then I will
Want
Far Step.
it.
I'll Far Step, and I will kind of applaud a little bit and say, I've only lost one other time, and that was to my younger daughter, my youngest daughter.
Well, she's very talented.
She is, but as are you. Well done. Well done. How was it? How's it feel to be hidden from all sight?
Good. Nice.
Well, we should be getting
I
back.
yeah.
Roos
No,
is
we
eating
should.
nuts from eating nuts from his pocket, like, and I'm literally eating them in real life too. Um, we should be getting back,
Yeah.
I guess. But wonderful, wonderful display of your abilities there. I'm quite impressed.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
Let's go.
Well, let's. I'm going to do one last thing, and I'm going to cast Dimension Door to bring us both back to where we started.
Okay.
Um, this is just a tour de force of what Roos can do. Is all this is.
I have a feeling Roos is always going to want to take the first watch so he can just burn his spells doing stupid stuff.
Valid.
Exactly. So I will put my, I don't know, what do elephants have? Clothes? Uh, like arm on her shoulder and say, are you ready to get back? And if so, meaning basically I'm implying, is it okay if I use this spell on you?
Yes.
All right. And I will cast Dimension Door and put us right back where we started. Still invisible for probably another 30 seconds or so. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit less than that at this point, but still got plenty of time.
And so the last thing I'll do is I'll just say to her, well, you saw quite a bit of what I can do. What I would ask is, let's keep that between us until the right times make themselves available. What I've found is that people like to use what I can do to their advantage, and I don't always share the direction they want to use it.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
No, of course.
But seeing as we're coming up to your home and I anticipate that you'll probably be leading the way, I thought it valuable to show you what you had at your disposal.
No, I appreciate that. Definitely. I wish I had some of your abilities in the past, but the past is the past. And hopefully, once we get there, it's not at least as bad as I remember. It's home, but it's hard.
That's understandable. There's a reason that my people, unless we're in positions of power, we also leave home. Home is hard, as you say. Well put.
I really do appreciate you being here. There's we've kind of traveled in our party without a I don't know how to say it. Like
An elephant?
no well no. um a nullifying force, someone who's just neutral to situations,
Ah,
a reasoned mind.
I wouldn't say I'm neutral. I care deeply, but I do tend to act neutrally. So I think that makes. I'll take. Thank you. Yes, and I'm glad to be here. I feel that whatever you are chasing, your party is chasing, seems to be relevant to the world right now, and that's where I would want to be.
I'm glad. Well, our watch is over, so get some sleep. And thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Wake up the next watch. Get up, bitch.
You kick Sasha.
I was gonna
No.
say, did you say that to me or Sasha?
Luthien, definitely.
Yeah,
Get
that's
up,
fair.
bitch.
Tracks. Yeah. Oh, man, I thought I changed my alarm ringtone.
Oh,
Left it on get up, bitch. Yes.
it's fine.
Oh,
Are you good?
yeah, yeah. Just shaking off the sleep.
It's a bit
Oh,
colder up here in the mountains, so just take a moment or two and you'll be fine.
it's not so bad. I kind of grew up in the north of where I'm from.
Oh,
Very, very not close to here. But I might throw on an extra layer.
yeah, that's smart.
Uh, frostbite, not what you
Yeah.
want. Great.
Yeah, me and Roos were running through the woods like wild, so we threw off our extra layers. But yeah, you do
Just
you.
we're just like running through the woods, just like sprinting back and forth between trees.
I mean, kind of. It was kind of like a, I don't know, how you describe a hide and seek sort of game, but with a log as opposed to a person.
Well, I feel much safer knowing that you two are playing hide and seek on your watch
What?
during
You are
during
perfectly
a camp.
fine.
Yeah, well, clearly. I mean, I'm awake, I guess.
You know
So
how I am on watches. I'm usually very, pent up and whatever. It's fine.
no,
We
look, I'm just giving you a hard time. I know it's fine. We all need to blow off steam. Not a big deal. Just don't call me bitch again. That's rude.
well,
Unbecoming.
I honestly thought you were asleep, so
I'm a pretty light sleeper.
got it
Ever
for
since
next
I got
time.
stabbed by those gnomes at that mine,
Oh,
I
yeah. No, that's traumatic. I get that.
yeah, that wasn't a good day. So
Do you have a different nickname that you would like to be called by?
I mean, that's a pretty low bar. You could
Well, I'm
pretty
just
much call me anything
saying.
else.
I mean, like, aside from Luthien, is there an acceptable name that I could call you?
Um, you know what? We'll work on it. We'll let it
Okay.
happen
We're
organically.
we're gonna workshop it.
Sure, sure. We'll come up.
I'm
We'll
going with
brainstorm.
Lucy right now.
Luffy.
Lucy.
Oh no,
Goth boy.
Luthien,
not even my mom
Lucy,
called me that.
Goth Boy,
Gerard Way. Yeah, just whatever.
Dark Fellow,
Um, yeah, no, Luthien's good for now. But it's good for now.
All right. I'll just, if I need to wake you up, I'll just say it like a really long and
Tell me by my full name.
Luthien.
Yeah,
Oh, your full name?
full. Yeah, go the whole shebang. Make up a middle name too while you're at it.
Oh, great. Do I fucking know your full name?
You don't.
Ah!
Just make it up. It'll be fine.
No.
What
no.
should my
Wait,
middle
hold
name
on.
be? What do you think?
Martin.
That sounds like a
'Cause
lawyer. Luthien
yes.
Martin Vestra? Oof.
'Cause panic. Yep.
I work for Vestra, and Vestra.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Luthien and
Well,
Martin Vestra. It kind of works.
it kind of does, weirdly.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you just, we didn't see anything on our watch, so
Well, that's good. Nothing
it's
crazy.
fine.
No
No,
undead
it's
this far
just
north.
no, it's just dark woods and mountains and anxiety. So, it's
The
fine.
usual, huh? Great.
Uh-huh.
Well, all right. Well, go get some sleep. I'll take it from here.
Sure. If you need anything, let me know.
Sure.
The dark holds many things, but most of them are just within you.
It's a
Goddamn.
little early for that, Sasha. I mean, awake for like 30 seconds. It's pretty heavy. Even for me. Oh. I mean, you're not wrong, but
Sometimes the scariest thing is having to be alone with your thoughts.
very, very true. Yeah. Um, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, yeah, that's
Well,
absolutely true.
are you feeling better about the ring?
No,
Okay.
not really. I would like to know that it is inert, um, kind of as soon as possible. But I also
You could just cast 2 cure
I
wounds.
could, but I also I understand the argument for keeping it around in case we really get into some serious trouble because honestly this whole thing with Stella's village it seems very intense and with her father in charge of it all and her not knowing where her mother is, I have no idea how we're even going to go about this. Is her mother even alive? Do we need to save her? Is she part of whatever's going on? Is anything towards even happening? Is it all just rumors? I have no idea. I don't like going into situations with this little information anyway.
Well, knowing what you don't know is half the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, there's value in that, but unfortunately, it's not. It's difficult to apply that practically.
Well,
But yeah,
at least
knowing
you'll
one.
be surprised by what happens, not that it happens.
I guess that's fair. That's a good point. I appreciate you looking on the bright side of things. I think that's necessary. Sometimes I can get mired in some negativity, and it's something I don't like about myself very much, but part of
You
who
got
I
this.
am, I guess.
You got this. You can handle this.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's nice to be around people I can trust anyway.
Yeah, there seem to be a tension, but I think you guys are. I think you know what you need to do. I mean, not know what you need to do, but know what you need to not do and know what you should do and what outcomes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna get some water. Do you want some water? I'm really thirsty.
That would be good. Where are you gonna get water from?
I mean, there's got to be got to be water around here somewhere, right?
Roll a survival.
I mean, at the very least, we just wait until the next watch, and I'll ask Naya for some water out of her thing of endless water.
Endless water jug.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, you're able to find like a muddy stream, but you're able to conclude it's probably better to wait for Naya's
Okay.
water
Yeah.
canter.
Let's maybe wait for that.
Did I have you roll a perception? I think we transitioned into this watch really smoothly. I don't think, yeah, you haven't rolled a perception.
Smoothly, you mean I got kicked and called a bitch? I guess.
No, you guys don't notice anything on your watch.
All right.
Other than a muddy stream.
Sure. Other than that, Luthien would kind of stay quiet.
Ice and Naya, what are you guys up to?
Taking Luthien and calling him a bitch.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just-
Here's your water, bitch.
Where's your water, bitch? Flash.
Turn it
Oh,
on to the full blast setting when he goes for a drink.
Oh,
No,
that's
no,
actually
no.
pretty funny.
Then I would just walk around the perimeter and keep an eye on things, and also look for flowers to press in her little book.
Roll in nature. And a perception for your watch. Okay. Ice also, if you want to roll your perception for your watch.
Ooh, that little nap she had made her real perceptive.
Okay, both of you working in tandem. You notice up towards where you guys are headed, a far away, probably 1,000 yards at least. Just the movement of treetops, not in the wind. You know, there's a gentle breeze that goes through all of them, but something moving through the treetops. You see one shake a little bit, then the next one, and you see that kind of continuing along away from you, um, a long ways away, 100 or 1,000 yards at least. Just from one treetop to the next, a little shake moves from one to the next, to the next, to the next.
Ooh, what is it?
Do you want me to go check it out? Can you wait here while I do that?
Yeah. I'll keep my eyes of the eagle on it,
Gotcha.
and my
I will. Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say I'll have my bow out too in case.
Do you have a way of communicating with Chudward at a distance?
I don't think so.
Okay, never mind then.
Hmm.
Ice will
Uh,
take off.
Ice, what's your speed?
35.
Okay. Just so you know, it'll take you an hour and 15 minutes to get that far, and it's already moving away from you.
Oh, it's already gone.
Mm, I'm gonna go about half that distance. I want to look for tracks
Okay.
Can
just
I
to get an
cast?
idea. Can you what?
Can I cast dark vision? Would that help at all? Like to see that far?
I already have dark vision.
Oh, you have dark vision.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna go what, probably about 45 minutes and check for tracks?
Yep.
Okay.
Is
Roll a survival. Are you specifically looking for Fae Fiend Undead, or are you looking in the treetops for whatever you can find?
how tall are the trees?
This is an old growth forest. They are quite tall. Probably most of them are around 100 feet.
I'm looking up in the trees.
Okay.
Mm, Can I cast speak with plants and ask the trees around? You know what that was?
The
You
shithole.
you absolutely can cast Speak with Plants.
I'm excited to know that speak with plants is that also Naya can do it. That's pretty.
Are you traveling with Ice Rose, or are you staying around camp?
Uh, I mean, I feel like if we leave all the sleeping people,
I
That's a
mean, Ruth and Stella already took off on a race.
but they went like 100 feet at most. Like
Gotcha.
you're talking about going 3,000 feet because 1,000 yards.
Uh, yeah, I think Naya had said that she would stay back.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
would go
So
after.
Naya, if you're staying around, let me just kind of read this spell real quick.
It weirds me out that it says GM instead of DM.
That
Game
is really
Master.
weird. Yeah, because D&D always uses DM as the terminology. But most games use GM, but D&D uses DM.
Yeah.
Um,
It makes me feel like I'm at my job and I've missed something that I was supposed to do.
yeah, so you can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances. So it's not going to be necessarily they'll respond. You can give them verbal questions, and they'll kind of respond in a way that's appropriate for plants.
Yes, I will ask them. Hey, what sort of creature do you know what kind of creature would make that? What was it like? Just shaking the tree leaves? Well, that could
Yeah.
be really anything. Squirrels? Squirrel.
So you would know it's bigger than squirrels if you want to
Yeah.
specify that to them. Otherwise, they'd be like squirrels, raccoons,
Yeah,
possums,
I think Dan said
birds.
earlier. Yeah, it was a large creature, or looks like a large creature.
Is there any large creature that can move? Is it moving fast? Can we tell?
Fairly fast, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can I ask the trees if there's a large creature that can move from treetop to treetop fairly quickly, other
Uh,
than Ice Rose that they have seen?
big, moving quickly, kind of like Ice Rose. Elf,
An elf?
elfish, yeah.
Ooh.
Um,
A friendly elf, do we think? Was it nice to the trees or did it take stuff?
nice to the trees, yes, yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Likes the night, moves in the night.
A night elf.
Friendly, yes.
A friendly night elf.
Doesn't bother trees. Respects trees.
Hmm. Do you know why I was hanging out in the trees?
Move quick, move secret.
Ooh. Was it spying on us? Trees don't know. Trees be my friend. We're friends. Tell me.
Yeah, trees wouldn't be able to insight motivation. They
Motivation.
can tell you what they did and where they went, but they can't give you any sort of insight.
Hmm. Was that friendly night elf near our camp earlier?
Nearby, yes.
Hmm. Can I also cast dark vision just to take a look around the tree? Or did Ice Rose take off already?
Ice has already taken off, yeah. At the
Hmm.
time that you're spending time talking to the trees, because it's not as instant as I'm giving replies. You have to kind of listen to the cacophony of tree noises.
Yeah, I like that. Um, thank you, trees. Can I also cast the dark vision and take a look around the trees in our area and see if I can see anything?
Yeah, yeah, you could absolutely do that, and you can roll another perception.
Ugh, garbage.
You can see the trees really well. They're nice trees. They're friendly trees.
Oh wait, I can touch a willing creature to grant it the ability to see in the dark?
I guess you can give trees night vision.
Can I give Chudward night vision?
Doesn't he already have it because he's a fake creature?
Oh yeah.
I think he does.
Chudward, go look around for things. Look for signs of an ice rose-ish creature. But not ice rose. Don't go near her because she'll calamari you.
Um, yeah, go ahead and roll a perception for Chudward. You can just roll a d20 if you don't want to pull up his stats.
No, I've got it. I just don't remember which one
It's a wisdom.
was it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, there you go. He sees nice friendly trees as well.
Well, that's not signs of an ice rose-ish garbage. But good job, Chudward. I will pat Chudward and also hug trees.
Okay.
Give them a little bit of water.
Tree hugger.
Yes. I
Ice,
mean,
you. Oh,
she smokes them so much, she might as well hug them also.
Ice, do you want to roll your it could be a perception or a investigation. I think it would
Um,
probably be an investigation.
I already rolled a perception earlier and it was a shit roll.
Oh, okay. Then
I got like a 2.
oh yeah, you rolled survival. Yeah, for tracking survival would have been right. Yeah, you go to where you saw this action happening, you thought, and you climb up a tree, and it takes you a long time to climb up the tree because it's like 100 feet straight up. And you look around, you don't see anything. You climb up another tree, you climb up another tree, and you're just not finding anything.
Gotcha.
No traces of anything up there other than like squirrels and birds and stuff.
Real quick, is that in the direction of Stella's village?
It's not in the direction of the village, but it's in the direction of the pass you have to go through to get to the village.
Gotcha. Okay. If there's nothing, then I'm going to hunt and then head back.
Okay, you can roll your survival check.
Was it a straight or advantage? I forgot.
It's just straight. It's advantage only if you're going for undead.
Gotcha.
Was an 18. Roll a d10. Okay, roll me 3 ranged attack rolls.
With what weapon?
You have a longbow, I think?
Yes. Alright, you said range. Yeah.
Yep, okay. You kill a black bear.
Awesome.
Um,
It deserved
you have 49 pounds of meat that you can scrape off of it, and still be able to carry back. If you were to,
Can I toss it whole into the portable hole?
oh, yes, you have the portable hole, so normal hunting shit doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, you can throw a whole black bear in the portable hole.
Alright. Black bear goes in, heading back to camp.
Okay, yeah, you cut a black bear.
Throw it in the hole.
It's like that's how I imagine it. Like she takes the bear down, walks up to it, like pulls the portable hole out, like kind of like flips it like a tablecloth onto the ground, and just like kicks the bear in.
This is Sparta.
Pretty much, just kicks the bear in and just like, all right, time to get back.
Boop-a-doop-de-doop.
I can't wait to pull this out in front of the group.
Okay, yeah, Ice, you walk back with a bear in a portable hole. Bear in a hole sounds like a pastry.
Bear in a hole.
It
Oh,
does.
no.
It sounds like a delicious pastry too.
It sounds kind of like a mix of pigs in a blanket and a bear claw.
All I'm thinking is of is a big burly gay guy.
Oh, what?
Well, now I'm not. Now that's all I'm
Uh,
thinking about too.
yeah,
Bear is a term for gaming. It's a term that's used in the community.
Community. I have a bear. I have a friend. I've been to bear parties, and it's very interesting, and it's not.
It's not a derogatory term.
It's not
a term
derogatory.
used
Yeah.
by men
Oh.
for big hairy gay men.
TIL. All right. I'll head back. I guess. What time would it be when I head back?
You'd get back with the time it took to actually hunt the bear. You'd probably be getting back at the end of Storm and Mara's watch, which I think we should probably just resolve then.
Yep.
If you guys want to do anything, if you want to chat about anything, or you guys can roll perceptions.
I'll roll a perception, but I do want to ask Stormblaze a question. I lost my character sheet. Hold on. So, Stormblaze, I don't know much about fire genasi. How do you feel about all of this fire elemental stuff happening?
Fire is used everywhere. So it's really up to the people and their will. I don't have much of a stance on it. People use the power as they see fit.
Do your people have any like folklore about fire or any sort of like beliefs about it?
It wasn't necessarily fire, it was more about strength, cunning. At least that's how it was back in my village.
Okay, I'm understanding. I just figured all perspectives could be useful in the upcoming months.
So what do you expect to happen in Stella's village?
I don't know. I'm mostly just gonna take Stella's cue on all of that. We're not really giving a lot. I don't even know if they're gonna let us in, to be completely honest, based on what she said of this place. Like, I don't know if her word is enough to even like get us in. Like, what if they just like make her like take her inside and we never see her again? Or like what if they like make her choose right then and there at the gate, like one or the other? Like what if we don't even get inside the village? What are we like? Can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, and then there's the matter of her family. She doesn't really paint a vivid picture of her family. Seems kind of
It's yeah, I have a lot of questions, so I'm kind of just waiting to see how this plays out. I don't even think we're gonna even be able to get into the village, to be completely honest.
nah, they have to. Are they gonna just shun away anybody who shows up?
I mean, from what Stella said, it sounds like that's what they do. Like that's how they like live.
What if we offer something?
What do we have to offer?
I don't know, but we could, I don't know, perhaps wish for something they may need.
I don't think we should be using wishes like that.
It's not for our benefit.
Well, I'm gonna be following Stella on this one, and I'm sure Stella wouldn't want to see it come down to us having to use a wish for something. So we'll see what happens when we get there and see how Stella wants to do. Because it really comes down to what she wants to do. It's her village, not ours.
Maybe, I don't know. She was on this pilgrimage, right? And she needed to bring back something of value. Am I getting that right?
So we only me and her only talked briefly about it, to be completely honest. I don't know if it's anything like what I had to go through. I just knew it was similar enough to understand.
What if entry is exactly that? For us, we need to bring something of value to them.
I guess we'll have to wake her up in 2 hours and find out. But I don't know. I'm just gonna follow Stella at this point. She seems to know the terrain better than all of us, so socially, politically, literally.
I don't even know how to respond socially. I feel like they might just shun her away, and if they do, I don't know.
Well, let's not fight them. That just seems excessive.
Not fight, but at least stick up for her. Of
Unless
all that
unless
she's done for
Stella
us.
fights first, in which case I'll definitely fight with Stella if she does first.
I'm curious to see.
What were you doing when you met us?
What do you mean?
Like what in general were you doing? Did you like work in a shop? Were you just a traveler? Were like what was like I know you came from like a far off land, but like what were you like tell me a little bit more about your story. Like what were you doing before you just like dropped everything to come on this insane adventure with the 7 of us?
When you guys found me, I was just fighting for money. I volunteered into that coliseum and fought for whatever riches came by. People would bet on me, and I would make money in the process. Before that, um, it's I don't know. I would rather not speak of it.
You don't have to. But hey, if you ever do have to go to fighting for money, you're a lot better at it now.
I don't know. That last time in the town, I bet all I had and lost on myself.
Well, at least it happened in a pit fight and not out in the streets. It's a safe place to lose.
I don't know, since Ice Rose her knife wasn't that safe, huh?
Well, to be fair, you pretty much had nothing to do with that situation until everybody got involved. So you were doing great.
I lost to a damn sorcerer.
It happens to the best of us, man. Sorcerers are tricksy. Then I imagine from here on out, Mara and Stormblaze would just like go over the finer points of pit fighting with magic users.
And hitting sorcerers while Roos sleeps.
I like how you guys are having this conversation. Like Naya didn't tell you Ice Rose just took off after something we both saw.
Could have.
I mean, she kind of told us, and also you have been known to run after things before, so
It's kind of the norm.
like we're not necessarily like we're worried about you, but like there's not a whole lot we can do about it.
Fair.
Ice comes back out of the forest. Oh, I got a bear.
Oh, is that what you found?
Yeah, no, that's not how that would happen.
I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I would casually, like, without a word, just open up the portable hole and like heft out a giant black bear.
It was easy enough to get it in. Roll in athletics to get it out.
Ooh, well, I'm not doing it tonight.
Okay.
I was gonna keep it until the next day because I'm getting back kind of late, and I have enough food for one more day.
Would it die though?
Oh, it was dead when it went in
It's
the hole.
already dead.
Oh, I thought he was still alive.
No, Ice Rose went hunting.
I think it's because it's on the gift that Matt put in the chat, and I was like, oh, he just walked right in the hole.
I snuck up behind the bear and kicked it into the hole.
I mean, that checks out.
It went to a farm upstate.
No, I would come back. Oh, damn it. Stella just left. I was gonna say I would come back and ask Stella about scouts around her village because I
Yeah.
suspect that's what that was.
Yeah. So I think it's getting late enough that we can pick up there next week. I was hoping to do one more stage and leave on a cliffhanger, but I think we'll pick up there next week. This is a good place to leave things with Storm and Mara's watch ending and Ice Rose coming back to camp.
See, I told you she'd be fine. All right, well, fantastic game, Dan.
I mean, it's a cliffhanger. I want to know if she can get to bed.
I honestly didn't do all that much. It was mainly you guys talking. I just set up the world.